Yeah, I mean, I think we have to teach people that beautiful comes in a lot of ways.
Hey, I'm Avia Haroni. I'm here with my producer Josiah. Say hi.
Hello.
Today, we're on our way to Jimmy's house. Jimmy's a good friend of ours, and we're going to be talking about body positivity and body shaming in society. On today's episode of Hash It Out. Jimmy! Hi! Jimmy.
Yes.
Let's look through this kitchen. I want to see what we're going to cook because I'm about to get hungry soon. Anything in here? Jimmy, where do you keep your food?
You know, try it. Mostly the fridge. That's a good place. Kitty can't get in, nor can you.
Oh my god.
They're child-proof.
We could do like a little cheese-filled meatball.
Yeah.
Like a Juicy Lucy, but a meatball?
Meatball version. Carrot tomato sauce. Nah?
Uh-huh.
Maybe? Yeah, we'll see.
That sounds weird.
But like little chunks of carrot in the sauce with the meatball. So you get like a meatball texture.
Sure.
With a little bit of crunch.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I like this one. On the next, Iron Chef. The tomato,
Okay.
and then maybe just one pepper diced up.
Okay. I'm not a great dicer.
Oh, you know what? Do whatever you can do. This is an Iron Chef. Which would you like to start with? Body shaming or body positivity? My vote is let's start with body shaming and with body positivity.
I grew up always struggling with my weight, and I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
That was already a challenging thing when you were called fat as a kid or made fun of because of that. And then even when I would lose a bunch of weight, it was always inside me. I think you hear that so often. When I came out and I lost a bunch of weight, it became really, really, really challenging. I tried to keep up a certain image because, I looked at what I thought was considered everybody had, what people had to look like and what did all the gay men look like in magazines or in porn or in whatever it was, right? I would always go back to that feeling that I'd had about you're the fat kid, and even when I would lose weight, I'd still feel like I was the fat kid.
In terms of society, right?
Right now, yeah.
At a bigger scale, are we in a right direction for what our media shows? Like,
I think there's argument on both sides to say in some ways we've gotten better, but in some ways I don't know that we really have. I can only speak from really the gay male perspective, but there's still that kind of culture, and you hear the way body is portrayed, and there's nothing wrong with having whatever, and it's not a lot about, there are other types of people, right? We kind of see, and so I do think it's better in some ways. We're starting to see a little change in that, but I still don't know that we're where we need to be when I hear so many, I'm a teacher, our students talk about body shaming constantly. I'm hoping that we see better representation of different types of people, but I still think there's issues.
you're constantly learning and growing and moving forward.
Luckily one of the good things is, going to therapy was a huge help for me.
Sure.
Talking to somebody about it and kind of working with my therapist about this idea of, you're starting to realize how much that bullying as a kid too, being made fun of as a kid, and I was double whammy. I was a kid that struggled with his weight. I was a dancer and I was in theater, and the gay slurs flew,
Sure.
and the weight stuff. So, I guess. So I really worked with him, and he said, when you go through something like that as a kid, thank you. Cheers. Sometimes.
Oh God. No. And I'll take a whole piece. You guys just split one.
He just said, that's basically. It is a form, and this is why everybody, you look at certain times in your life and you're like, oh, that was a really traumatic event. He goes, those things were traumatic for you, so what you really are dealing with is PTSD. Related to all that. It's helped me, though, go through that and realize, find a way to kind of go, okay, this was a traumatic experience. What can we do to work through it, and then how do we move on? For me, it's I still work out through it, but a lot of it now is much more about health for me. And when I work out, that's more what it's about rather than. I've stopped even always setting numbers, goals when I'm trying to lose a little weight or trying to, because I think sometimes, although that sounds great for me, it doesn't really work as well. And just, I know how to make healthier choices. I think I've started to, but I also am like, you know what? If I'm not a 1-inch waist or a 30-inch waist, it's not going to be the end of the world.
And I feel like it's amazing because going with it, I mean, society puts so much emphasis on one body type and shame on a different on a different body type, and to come out of that, because to be like, to have your experience growing up, there are so many people who don't come out of it like you have,
as like I was saying, I got older, right, and that I started to realize, well, there's a lot of other things I'm talking about. I like the way I look. If I'm a little bit heavier, it doesn't always mean anything. And again, it's also changed gave me more confidence because I felt better about myself.
Sure.
And I looked at all the other things that I can do and have done. So yeah, I guess that all just sort of is what sort of took me in a different direction.
So Jimmy, before our little break,
You didn't figure out what you were talking about?
I asked you. Oh shit! I lost it. What things in society can continue the narrative forward?
Oh, right. That is the key. See, you remembered your good question. But I think we, and I mean, like I said, I think we're all guilty of this, have to look at people for who they are. I think we worry, and not worry so much, again, like I said, about this image.
Mm-hmm.
So it really does have to come back down to representation. And again, like for me, gaining the confidence and liking the person that I am. And that's, for a lot of reasons, not always an easy thing to do. So if we kind of, and so I think it has to obviously be representation. It has to be loving yourself. But I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier. I mean, you can't deny the mental health aspects that go with a lot of things.
First of all, what would you tell a young kid with body image issues?
I wish I had great words to be like, I think it's so much as like, these things don't matter, love the person that you are. I mean, all things sound so cliche, but I think they're so true,
We're just gonna put a little bit of unsalted butter, just a little bit, just, to give it the creaminess. To give it the creaminess.
Yeah, I think we have to teach people that beautiful comes in a lot of ways, because if we can change those images, there's a lot of types of people, and that's okay. These people might look a certain way, or their body type is a different way than yours, or this. Right. And if we can somehow let that be a universal message and then it can start at a young age, that we don't feed our children this false reality of what beauty is.
Mm-hmm.
And how do they fit in?
On one hand, playing devil's advocate, let's say, this whole idea of being overweight is a negative thing, right? Like, it's not that it's a negative thing. Well, it's not a standard of beauty. Which you could turn to those people and you could say, it's all in your head, right? Like, we've been brainwashed to think what's beautiful and what's not beautiful. Like, you could turn to that person and you say, like, right? But then but then what about these people who just go, yeah, but it's not healthy. You're going to die sooner. What about your kids? You know what I mean? How do you retort that?
I think we also have a perception, because of that standard of what people need to look like, that what healthy means. And just because your body type doesn't look a specific way doesn't mean that person isn't healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa, right? I guess that's what I mean. And what does health mean? And again, it goes all back to accepting who you are. And so again, I think we had this perception that healthy means you have a six-pack ab if you're a man, or if you're a woman, you have this, no body fat. That's the cycle, right? And so unless you can break that and say, okay, health means this, beauty means this.
Because I still have that inner fat boy, I'm still like, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep striving for what I think is beautiful, which is like six-pack abs and the V-back and the right?
But I think that also goes back to it. There's, of course, benefit for exercise and eating better and all those things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you could do all the things. I mean, there's one person who has the certain body type that works out, 3 hours a week. My God, they look perfect.
Oh, I know. Doesn't that piss you off?
Perfect, again, by those standards.
Right.
So,
by beauty standards.
But again, it's great that we want to promote healthy eating and exercise and those things. But it shouldn't be on the guys you will look only this specific way. And how do we tie that idea? Again, it goes back, I think we're tying this idea of what healthy is too often into an image. If we can stop perpetuating those sorts of weird ideas and stereotypes, right, of what health means, like something that's going to change. All right, you know what I mean? We're not going to be. You can say, okay, you may have a different shape, and you may have what looks like a little more weight, or whatever that means, but that's also healthy because this person takes, I guess for me they're tied in, and again, I still have to work on. All my perceptions will change. I'm telling you, with age does come wisdom, and the ability to know you still don't know shit, and you need to keep learning stuff.
I don't know shit.
No, you really don't know shit.
I know shit.
I know more shit.
You only know shit.
That's probably
no. I don't know shit. What do you say we sit down, try a bite, and wrap this up?
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up.
All right.
Who's this scruffing around whose finger? Jimmy, we've made a delicious cheese stuffed meatball, right? A juicy brucey in an amazing tomato sauce with some nice boiled butter green peas.
Yeah.
So let's have a bite and we'll wrap up this thing.
All right.
Got some of that thought. Oh, let's. Josiah, can you? Oh, look at it.
Ooh.
Okay, let's close out.
I'm not good.
After our whole conversation today about body shaming, body positivity in society, what would be like your 3 key points that you want to bring home?
Representation, again, that we see all types of people. My second point is basically having that idea of what is health and what is beauty, we talked about, and what do those standards mean, and looking at all those body types. Then from there, that information, let's take it out so we can, again, break this cycle and look at people in a different way. Yeah. And ourselves just as much, in a different way, a more positive way.
What are some resources people could, find that you found to be positive resources for the mental health aspect of body shaming? What do you think?
I think that's good luck. First of all, if you need somebody to talk to, finding who that person is who's positive and you can trust, if it's just a friend or somebody. Or the other thing is, can you go talk to the school counselor? Can you kind of figure out, are there other resources around, that area? So, and for me, that's kind of been the biggest thing that's kind of helped me and also again, just learning to accept myself more. But again, it all comes back to what therapy did for me, and also
so therapy.
And
therapy
is
so positive.
It is, and having and creating a support base that really gives to you as much as you give to them.
Yeah, that's really important.
So everybody's on a little bit of a different journey. But
right.
If you can make it more positive, it would be great. So.
Yeah. Anyway, Jimmy, thank you for letting us be in your house. Thank you for letting us eat your food, and thank you for letting us pick your brain.
Of course.
And then you can find us at What's Next MSP. Boom!
First time you got that right.
For the first time, Minneapolis, what's next?